Are you struggling to kill tier 5 revs or wolves in Skyblock? Well, you're in luck. Today I'll be showing you the most consistent way to kill both tier 5 revenants and tier 5 wolves. I'd also like to point out that these aren't the cheapest setups possible, just what you need to start doing your bosses really fast. I'll also show you where these setups can be upgraded to maximize your speed and efficiency when spawning and killing. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, for Revenant Slayer tier 5, you'll need 2 Reaper Falchions, 1 with Prosecute and 1 with Execute. An Ethereal Scythe for spawning, you can go with the Tuber Staff if you haven't unlocked it yet or you want to get something cheaper. A full Reaper set, including the mask, Rancher's Boots for spawning, and a high level zombie pet. Some people like Tiger more, but I prefer Zombie for the consistency. Let's head into the crypts and I'll show you the best places to kill your tier 5 revs. Alright, so the first spot is going to be down here in the bottom of the crypts. You have to come the entire way down. The entire crypts to get down here. But basically, once I get to a couple kills off, I'll come down here and I'll kill these 2 golden ghouls. Spawn my boss, and then come up here and sit around up here in rage with my Reaper set and just start whacking at him. So I'm going to spawn it here again, using this guy over here this time. And same, I'm going to come up, make sure there's blocks behind me, crouch to enrage, and just start hitting him over and over again. Now, once he gets to around 5 mil, you switch to your Execute sword. That way you're getting the most out of your damage. Alright, one more time, I'm going to spawn down here. Come up, make sure there's blocks against my back. Enrage, use my Prosecute, gets to 5 mil. Switch to my Execute. Keep hitting him. Make sure you let the rev hit you, otherwise it will start regenerating. And there you have it. There is the first spot on the list. The second spot is kind of along this wall. I'll only really use this if a mini boss spawns in the center, kind of like what happened here. I usually don't like going down here because you can get trapped very easily by all the zombies. But over here, past the skull, is a really nice spot. So I'm just going to spawn the boss and show you guys. As you can see, hop up here. Make sure you're trying to walk into the wall to make sure you don't get knocked out. If you do, just keep jumping and get back in. If he goes around this side, make sure to walk into the corner so if he doesn't start regenning. And there you go. I'm going to do this one down here in this sort of area here. And also we have an audience for this rev, which is pretty dope. So just make sure you're staying up against the back, letting all the knockback just hit you into the wall. Swap your Falchion at 5 mil HP for an easy kill. Alright, and the last spot is going to be up here at the very top of the crypts. You're going to want to stand in this corner once you spawn your boss. So, like we've been doing the whole time, just keep hitting it. Swap to the sword when it gets to 5 mil. And you should be good to go. Alright, I'm going to do it one more time. Come down here, spawn. Whoops. Up into the corner. And start whacking away. Alright, now that I've shown you all the spots, I now want to show you all of the upgrades you can make to your setup to make it go even faster. Alright, for the upgrades, you can use the Overflux Power Orb and the Weird Tuba if you have access to them from doing Wolf Slayer. I would highly recommend the Weird Tuba. It is insanely cheap if you want to grind it or craft it yourself. Very cool. Overflux, a little bit more difficult to get, but again, if you're endgame, highly recommend it. Then you're also going to want to get yourself a ghoul pet for the spawning. This makes spawning so much faster if you are bothered to switch zombie for killing, ghoul pet for spawning. Just make sure you're swapping back and forth, get the swapping down. If you have a really high level ghoul pet, it can take the spawns to spawn a tier 5 down to under 100, which is just crazy. So I'd highly recommend it. You can also drop Smite 7s when killing tier 5s. And I would not recommend selling them. I would recommend applying them to your swords. As you can see here, this one is Smite 7, this one is Smite 7. Really good, just gives you way more damage across the board. You could also crit 7 these, but I wouldn't recommend it. The final 2 upgrades are the hardest to get and the most expensive, but they are really worth it if you want to take your rev grinding to the next level. They are the Atoned Helmet and the Axe of the Shredded. The Atoned Heart can be dropped from tier 5 rev 0.01% of the time. That is crazy rare. It is the only crazy rare drop you can get from a tier 5. If you want to cop out and buy it instead of grinding for it, it can run you over 200 mil. So if you're on the cheaper side, I would definitely recommend grinding for it. It will boost your damage so much. Then the Axe of the Shredded requires 4 Shard of the Shreddeds to craft. They're a little less rare than the Atone type, but still you need 4 of them, so it can still be really difficult to drop it. Again, if you want to buy it, it can cost you over 200 million coins. So if you want to buy it, you can buy it, but grinding for it personally gives me a lot more satisfaction and also saves me a lot of money. Now that we're finished Revenant Slayer, let's head over to the Howling Cave and kill us some tier 5 wolves. Now for tier 5 wolves. For tier 5 wolves, you're going to need 2 Pooch Swords, 1 with Prosecute, 1 with Execute, an Ethereal Scythe for spawning. Super Staff won't cut it for this because Super Staff does just not do enough damage. Overflux, you can use Mana Flux, but I would not recommend it. Your margin for error is extremely small using Mana Flux. Just do yourself a favor, do the grind for Overflux beforehand. It lets you mess up and save yourself a lot more. Then the Weird Tuba, also mandatory. Not completely, but that plus 30 strength is going to help you a bunch. Now, next, a little bit of a wild pick. Edible Mace. I didn't realize how useful this was until I was talking to Sphinx about Wolf Slayer. Look at this ability. Your next attack with this weapon deals double damage. We don't care about that. Making them deal 35% less damage for 30 seconds. So, if you activate the ability with the Edible Mace, whack the wolf, and then switch to your Pooch, you're taking 35% less damage for 30 seconds. That's pretty good. So shout out to Sphinx for telling me about that. Obviously, a pickaxe for mining the little ice mounds during the blizzard phase. But the spot that I'm showing you how to kill them, you won't need to go after the ice mounds. And then finally, you will need a high level tiger pet. Mine is pretty low, but it does the job. I'm happy with them. And yeah, that's everything you need to start doing tier 5 wolves. Now, you can see it behind me. I'm going to show you the cheese location for doing all of your tier 5 wolves. As you can see, it's pretty crowded, so it's going to take a little while for me to spawn, and then also get a clip of me killing the boss here, but I will try my best. Basically, you're going to want to walk around, and when you see a wolf, you're going to use your Ethereal Scythe. Sometimes it won't kill, so you hit it twice, but your tiger will sometimes proc and insta-kill the wolf. Of that happening. There we go. As you can see, that instantaneously killed the wolf, which can get annoying, but I would just recommend double tapping the whole time, because you get back more souls than you spend killing these guys. Also, if you would like to spawn a little bit faster, you can use a leaping sword to get around a little bit faster. I would highly recommend it. It lets you spawn a lot easier. Alright, here we go. Now that I'm ready to spawn, you want to come up here. There'll be a couple wolves around here. Kill one of them. Get your hotbar ready because mine wasn't. Sprint over here to this little cubby hole. Jump up. Place your Overflux. And the wolf will get stuck down here. Sometimes it's meant to get stuck down here. I don't get why it's getting stuck over here. If I don't let it hit me, it will start regenerating. There we go. Now he's in the actual cheese spot. You're going to want to chill up here. Keep hitting it. And then drop down every once in a while to let it hit you to make sure it doesn't regenerate. Then, when it gets to ice phase, you can either lose your head running around trying to break all of them in time. Or, since it is sitting down there and physically can't hit you when you're on this block, you're going to want to let the blizzard run out. And there you go. Mine the ice away, and then you hop back down to make sure it doesn't regen, hop back up. So now, once it gets to 9 million HP, you get into pups phase. They have 400k HP, so make sure you hit all of your scythe shots. I also like to point out while this ice phase goes on, if the pups run away and try to hit somebody else, you will not be able to damage your boss until they are dead. Oh! Oh my god! No way! Oh my god, that's crazy. That's my first ever grizzly bait. I've dropped Overflux. I've dropped Heart of the Permafrost, but I've never dropped a grizzly bait. Alright, as for the upgrades, you can drop crit 7 books from these, which I would recommend applying straight onto your pooches. I actually don't have crit 7 on either of these, but shh, nobody has to know that. If you're really lucky, you can drop the Heart of the Permafrost and craft that into Permafrost Armor, which is basically just an upgrade to Mastiff Armor and gives you way more damage, way more effective EHP. It's literally just way better than Mastiff. I would highly recommend, if you drop Permafrost Heart, to craft it. You can also craft the Glacial Beacon. I'd recommend crafting that second, unless you're only visiting wolves to go back to revs, because I've heard it is actually very, very good for revs. I would also recommend grabbing a wolf pet for the combat wisdom for spawning. It'll just make spawning them way faster because they are very, very slow to spawn. Alright, that's it for the video. Let me know if I messed up anything because This is my first guide. I'm not that good at making guides. I tried to include everything I could think of, especially with the wolf section. Comment what guide you want to see next. I'm open to anything apart from a couple of things. So if there's a guide that you'd like to see me make, drop it down into the comments below. Also, please, please, please like and subscribe. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. You are helping me get slightly closer to monetization, which would be insanely cool. I mean, I can actually start making money off of YouTube, which is just something I never thought of when I started this channel. We're trying to beat Creepy in the race to 1,000 subscribers. Also, 500 mil giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time.